Let's take a look at some of the things from within the carburetor that can possibly cause flooding. But it's important to mention I'm not saying that these are all things that can cause it. Okay, so some things from within the carburetor then that can cause flooding include the needle valve, which can be found in the metering system of the carburetor, behind the metering cap here. Once these 4 small screws are removed and then the metering diaphragms removed, it's a good idea to take a good look, making sure that the lever and the spring and the metering needle are first of all present and correct, and that when you push down on the back of the lever it's returning okay back upwards, and see if anything looks untoward with just a quick visual check. Then if all is present and correct, we need to make sure that the metering lever is set correctly, because an incorrectly set lever can possibly lead to flooding. Generally, this lever should be in line with the top of the carburetor body, and we can test that by getting a screwdriver from one side to the other and making sure that the top of the lever is at the same level. But there are other types of small 2-stroke carburetors like this one that do have a different setup in the metering chamber. And you can see the metering lever on the lower level. In this case, the back of the metering lever needs to be level with the base of the bottom of the metering chamber. So why do we need to set these levers this way then? Well, in general, we need the diaphragm to lower just enough to lower the back of the lever just enough, to raise the front of the lever and the metering needle just enough, in order to meter the correct amount of fuel through this carburetor for the engine. But if the metering lever is set too high, then any movement downwards from the diaphragm will act upon it much sooner, in most cases way too soon. So the lowering of the back of this lever will cause premature opening of the needle valve, allowing fuel through when it's not required. Basically messing around with the metering system so it's not working at its best and metering the fuel, the correct amount of fuel that is, for the engine's needs. So this may lead to too much fuel delivery for the engine and in turn may cause flooding. So if we do remove the metering cap and the metering diaphragm and see that the lever is too high, then we can simply reset it by pushing down on the front here, holding it there, and then pushing down on the back to rebend that lever. And if you find you've pushed it down too low, you can always put the screwdriver in at the back here and lever it back up slightly. And we can simply build the carburetor back up and refit it to the machine and try it at this stage to see if it's any better. If not, then it could be the metering needle not seating correctly due to the spring being incorrect or damaged, or there's dirt preventing a good seal for the valving system of the needle itself, and therefore allowing fuel up when it shouldn't do. These parts, of course, can be replaced, and they can normally be found in a full service kit for your particular machine's carburetor. But how do we know if a leaky needle valve is causing the problem? Well, the way the professionals do it at the service centres is that they pressure test them. So they'll place the pressure tester on the carburetor's fuel inlet pipe and pressurise air up behind the needle valve. Usually around £7 per square inch for a small carburetor like this, and when this air has been pumped in, that particular pressure should easily maintain itself. That is, of course, if the needle valve is down fast on its seat, creating a good seal and preventing any of that air from escaping upwards past it. But of course, if we see that needle dropping down from 7, it indicates that the air is indeed passing this seal. The needle valve isn't sealing properly. And so, as we touched on earlier, the sorts of malfunctions that can occur to allow this leak up of pressure can range from the actual valve not sitting in its seat properly due to debris, so it's not creating a seal. Also, this rubber part of the needle valve does in time wear away. So this is the needle out of my carburetor, and if we take a look at the rubber tip, if this needle needed replacing, showing wear here at the tip, then we'd see a very thin ridge going across the tip, right about here. Very much a ring of indentation all the way round. It's this that's a common indicator that the needle valve really does need replacing. On some brands of carburetor, it's the other way round, where the needle is made of the solid metal type material and it's the seat that carries the soft rubber part. But again, the needles and seats should be in a full service kit, should they need replacing. Also, something that is overlooked quite a bit is that this spring at the back of the lever pushes up at the back of the lever to push down at the front and push the needle valve into its seat. And it's down to the correct strength of this spring to make that needle create a good seal. Of course, we don't want it too strong because we need the diaphragm to push down on it and push back on the lever and lift the needle when it's required, but we don't want it too weak. If it's too weak, then any pressure coming up here to the needle valve will find it easy to push the needle valve upwards by going against the spring. So in the case of losing pressure, we might need to consider fitting new parts. So using a pressure tester is how the needle valve is tested professionally, and it really is the best way of doing it. And now for the last thing I wanted to mention in this video. Another carb issue that can cause flooding that I've found is fairly common is incorrect fuel adjuster screw settings. Usually when a chainsaw comes into me and the owner has tried to adjust them themselves without really knowing how to adjust them. Not that adjusting them is particularly difficult, but like anything else, in order to do it right, of course, we need to be shown the right way of setting them. But showing you how to correct these screws is a video in itself. So rather than me go on for too long here, I've placed a link in the description below of one of my videos showing you how to reset these. I know there are many other reasons for engine flooding, such as blocked air filters, an inefficient spark, choke left on for too long, the engine on-off switch not turned on, etc, etc. But this video was just about covering some things within the carburetor that can cause flooding. I want to thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back soon.